This is APYouthNet.
Welcome to the APYouthNet talk show, where we look at some of the key issues regarding employment for young people in Asia and the Pacific. Lifelong learning is defined as being flexible, diverse, and available at different times and places throughout life. Such learning crosses sectors and goes beyond traditional schooling. As both the competition for jobs and the cost of education increases, such an approach to learning can have a big impact on someone's career. To talk about this and more, I am joined today by Takashi Fujimoto from his office in Tokyo. Takashi has launched a website called Street Academy, where young people who have something to teach, a skill that they have, can meet up. They meet up on the Street Academy, they decide where to teach, for how much and when, and then they meet in person and teach that skill. Takashi, thank you very much for joining us on the show today. Just to start, can you describe to us what Street Academy is all about?
Yes, Matthew, thank you for having me on the show. I'm from Tokyo, Japan. I launched a service called Street Academy back in August of 2012. And it is an internet-based service that allows virtually anybody to propose and manage a workshop, lesson, a class, or any kind of teaching event by proposing what you want to teach to others and soliciting participation from anybody who is willing to learn and be your students.
Street Academy is for everyone. Is it also for those who have actually formalized their education?
Yes, it's for anybody. That includes people who have already received formal educations and are just looking to enhance anything in a particular subject, like if they are on the verge of switching jobs, industries, or pursuing something completely out of professional related issues, but just pursuing your passion or interest. And also, it's good for people who need beefing up their professional education so that they can advance in their ongoing career advancement. So either way, it's for people who have already graduated from schools from formalized academic structures and are looking to cherry pick from the peers whatever they need to learn, whenever they need to learn.
Arguably, one of the key challenges in Japan is the fact that young people try to always aim very high to reach those very profitable companies, the Sonys and the like, or they become job hoppers, also called freeters. Who are the young people who join Street Academy? Are they those who have, in a way, been discouraged for not having landed the jobs that they would have liked before, or are they truly, genuinely interested in entrepreneurship?
Both. Actually, people who are working at Sonys and Toyotas, they are not satisfied. They can make their ends meet and perhaps get a little bit of respect from their peers who are not joining such elite organizations, but they're not fully expressing themselves at their work every day because they're working for senior guys with big organizations full of bureaucracies. So they come to Street Academy, maybe they can dream a little and think, maybe I can create the next iPhone app and maybe I can become a next Mark Zuckerberg. They may not all of them may actually do it, but it gives them a hope that they can be a little more creative and they can do something on their own rather than just showing up to work and logging into their PC and creating their files that their bosses like, right? So that's that category's people. And there's others on the other side, like you mentioned. There are people who are not able to join these elite organizations, and they make their ends meet by freelancing a little and freetering a little, and they want to land a bigger job, and they want to basically acquire enough skills that maybe they can be a better freelancer. For example, they can take on a complete web producer job instead of doing a little coding. Get hired for coding for 6 hours and then laid off. Maybe they can, if they acquire enough technological skills with Street Academy, they can call themselves a web consultant, and they can get a gig to produce the entire website and hire other people. So there's both sides of the crowd.
You see obviously the business expansion side of things with your venture. Do you also see the social side of growth? Do you see your venture as possibly a social remedy to the question of youth employment in Japan?
Definitely. The great thing about internet is if I get enough scale, I don't need to charge a lot of people, charge a lot of margin or a lot of cost to people. So I don't need to rip people off to be profitable. I just need a lot of people to use it. And so if a lot of people use it and I lower the cost and I shorten the margin, then basically I am providing something good to the social cause. So in that sense, I will be aligned with serving the social needs, but I just need to scale.
Takashi, tell us about your experience as a young entrepreneur, because you have developed this business. You must have been confronted to a number of constraints, hurdles. Can you tell us about what it's like to be a young entrepreneur in Japan?
Um, Now is retrospectively better time than any time because the cost of starting a business is much lower than it was, let's say, 5-10 years ago. So it's easier. You can pay for server space by the minute instead of having to buy a server. You can rent a room by hour instead of having to, rent an entire space. You can go to meetup events to find your teammates instead of having to, ask millions of friends to introduce somebody appropriate for you. So it's easier than ever. But having said that, of course, why there are not enough entrepreneurs? Because it's difficult. People tell you it's not easy, and people tell you, well, you're not going to succeed. People give you condolences instead of encouragement. You got to fight through all that, and it takes time, and so there's setbacks, but I enjoy it because why do something that's easy to do, right? It's you feel more sense of accomplishment if you can overcome something that a lot of people think it's not possible.
So other than, or in addition to giving us your website for Street Academy, before we end the show, is there anything that you would like to say to those young people watching us, but not only them, also to ministries of labor, for example, to workers' organizations, to employers' organizations?
Well, I think people need to use to look at internet as means to connect and means to expand. A lot of people are cautious on the negative side of internet. For example, copyright related issues and uncontrolled contents proliferating on YouTube and such. But right now, YouTube happens to be a great educational platform. So is Facebook, which my site heavily integrates with for meetup purposes. So people need to really look at how internet can help education, and my focus right now is empowerment and basically liberation using internet. But I hope a lot more people will realize that power internet brings to the table.
Takashi Fujimoto, it's been a pleasure talking to you and hearing about your platform, Street Academy. We wish you all the luck for the future, and thanking you for watching the show on the APYouthNet.ilo.org. Please log on next time, and from the ILO regional office in Bangkok, I'm Matthew Koniak. Goodbye.
This has been an AP YouthNet production.